Hi, this is Regeline Sabat, also known as Gigi. You're listening to Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Jacqueline Yeung. Jacqueline Yeung, also known as JacQ, is an entrepreneur, business consultant, and mental health advocate. Welcome to the show, Jacqueline.
Hi, Gigi. How are you?
Fantastic. It's an honor to have you here today. Now, why don't you start off by telling us about you and where you are from?
Okay, I am from Hong Kong, living in Taiwan right now, and occasionally live in Southern California. And I have this company for 13 years in doing business consultation for an American company in Northeast Asia to Southeast Asia and Australia. And that's by trade what I do for living. And besides that, because of my personal experience, I am very much into mental health because I think it's important as much as physical health. So I do studies, I share articles, I write books about it.
Absolutely amazing. Now, tell us more about your life principle. Keep it positive and make it possible.
Well, keep it positive. It's more like I believe that everybody wants to keep it positive because being positive, quote unquote positive, is like how we can have a more happier life. And sometimes if we keep things positive, it's easier to make it possible. So it's kind of like one thing that I live by, and as much as I can be positive, which is more from the experience of depression, and things are more possible.
Absolutely amazing. Now, tell us more about your experience working in the film production industry.
Oh, I was way younger, and I'm not in the on the screen person, but I used to do dressing, hairstyle, makeup, to basically to put in appropriate for the character. So, for example, if it's a rich person, how do they dress? If they're special personality, what would they prefer? So, from clothing, from what we put on their body, their hairstyle, and the makeup, and even every piece of accessories that one character is using, it's also representing the personality.
I love it. Now, tell us more about a time in your life journey where you experienced an aha moment.
Aha moment. I think I do not really have an aha moment until pretty late. I would say that's probably just 5 years back, and because I've been into that, I would call it versus cycles, like with a victim mindset, with occasionally depressions never leave me alone, and with that, you just don't know why the world is always upside down. And until one day, I think I woke up for some reason with the relationships I work with the company, the owner of the company in the States. And one day I just like, I cannot stay like that. Like, when he has criticized me, I would be crying in the office. It's like that kind of like emotions that I couldn't even control and didn't know why that happened. It just kind of like making everything so tough, not the circumstance, not the people, but myself, because that making it so tough was from the within, from my own perspective, and from my own perceptions. So at that point of time, I just realized that I can live the life like that anymore. And at some point, because of some different things happen, and I realized that maybe God gave me all this experience for a reason. Maybe I can share what I know about this kind of depressions and the kind of victim mindsets to help more people, because more I study and learn about it, I realize that I'm not alone. I mean, there are lots of people experience similar things like me. So I started to think what I can do to help more people. And I think that aha moment also comes from one time when it comes to a business, because I do business seminars like 10 to 15 a year before pandemic. And so one day I just realized that huh, I'm doing this business seminar because I'm helping a lot of women that they were in the beauty industries and they're struggling to make their business work and their family balance and something like that. So a couple of years back, I started to find the purpose and the fun part, not only being a sales and marketing person, but through those business seminars to help more people to from survive to thrive in their life. So a lot of combination together, and I started to write more about mental health. How do you stay like more positive? How does the positive energy help you to make things possible?
Excellent. Now, tell us more about the major challenge that you had to overcome in your life.
Challenges. I always think the challenges is not from outside. I don't know. People probably think that I'm crazy, but I think the most challenging thing is myself. From the time I realized that with domestic violence and my mom literally was out of her mind, she literally just being like walk out the road and ran off by a big truck. That moment I was like, okay, this is crazy, this is wrong. And I don't know whether I did it right or wrong. I probably think that I did it right. So after weeks and years of abuse of like my father, and I pulled my mom out from that home. And since that day, my mom never go back to my father anymore. And but then after that, I lost. I felt lost in life, and I felt like, especially when my both my parents they have their own family, like they start their own new family, and I felt like I didn't belong. The word belong is very important. Belong to each both family. I felt like I was lost in the middle of nowhere. Didn't feel like any family that I was belong to, and that kind of thing is just like ringing a bell, and it's just I was lost, and then I was trying to find myself, and so I hopped from job to job. I basically didn't make enough money, and one day I would have no food for the day until the next day I get paid. So I have to walk home instead of taking a bus home. There was tons of things happen, and then to one point, it's not about the circumstance. Circumstances come and go, so as our emotions. At some point, I realized that everything that I labeled it as I didn't belong to both family. It's like I actually belong to both. And so there was two ways to look at things, but at that point of time, I don't know. I think I was too young, maybe. I didn't understand the concept, and so whatever I would say that all those challenges, it came from here. From here, I think I was worthless. I think that no one loved me. I thought I was not belong to either family. So that's all here. So with all this, I didn't. I don't have. I only look at the dark side of it, the downside of it, and I didn't see the bright side of it until very, very late. So, so that years of struggles was what I created myself, I would say. So, and I learned to do it better now is whatever there's a circumstance, is a situation, it has no emotions. If you don't label emotions like this is sad, this is angry, you label less, you feel less. But that doesn't devalue your love or your happiness. It's kind of like one thing, bad thing happen, you still can be happy. It depends on how you look at it. So, for example, if you lost your cell phone right now, it could trigger anger, fear, all the sadness that you can go that way. But you can also look at it like, all right, so it's a belonging. If we lost it, we lost it. Those angry, those energy doesn't help to do anything better, and it won't come back to you. The phone will walk back to you because you're angry, you're sad, or you have fears. All we can do is we have to look at it like, okay, so what should I do right now? So I should either go to the app and then, suspend the phone and get a new one. And a new one always better, right? So that's the two sides of looking at things. So the biggest challenge is, how do we keep our mind into a more positive way to look at things? But that takes like daily practice, I would say.
Very powerful. Now, Jacqueline, what is your best advice to the audience for walking with purpose and living a life of happiness?
Oh, I think purpose is something that we all have. In different time of life, you may have a different purpose, and of course, if anyone that studied psychology may probably well known about the Maslow um, theory, that our basic purpose is to survive and reproduce, and then we start to looking for belongs and love, and then the next thing is self-esteem, and then the next thing is a bigger purpose in life. The purpose itself has to fit in where you're at in life. Some people would say that, oh, I just want to become an entrepreneur. I want to put up my own business. I want to put my ideas into action. That's great. Some people that they may have are different types of purpose in life. For example, for myself, my business is pretty stable, I would say, after 13 years. So especially after the whole pandemic, I realized that I have more time to do something to help others, to share my experience, to hope that someone can resonate with it and then give them some positive energy and encouragement. So all different types of purpose. As long as you look at it, you have a purpose in life, and just keep going and moving forward, and to feel more, I would say, more harmony life, more joyful life. You cannot be like happy all the time. Nobody happy 100% all the time. But two things we can do. First of all is, when we have a purpose, do not just be happy when you up to finish the purpose, because purpose is more like a continuing thing. Every little wins count. So if you're thinking of to do a business, then from you have the idea, you're taking every single step that's worth more than just, oh, I put up a business. So the process is more important, because the learning and the growth that we see, how far we have come and how far we can go, it's more the way that giving us more joy and happiness. And any purpose, especially if you allow me to say, is when you can help more people, regardless. It can be through your business, it can be through your daily life. One more person you can help, more happiness you have. Life is simple like that.
I love it. Very uplifting and inspiring. Thank you, Jacqueline. Now, where can the audience find you?
They can find me on LinkedIn, and then they can find me on my website. And I'm basically, people say that I'm all over the place. You can find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page called JacQ, which is JACQ and TALK. And that is, I put up posts about how do we stay positive, keep it positive. And then similar, I think I would say that almost like the same content that I put on Instagram, and LinkedIn is a daily place that I put up posts like that. And I have books, and you can find my books also in Amazon Kindle and Apple Bookstore.
Absolutely amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Jacqueline on all of her social media handles, including LinkedIn, and also her website. That's JacQJR.com. And Jacqueline, thank you again for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast. You have a blessed day.
Thank you, Gigi. It's my honor.